Sticking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. But my breath fogged up the glass. So much face. I guess what I'll be saying is there ain't no good no reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we need to do. I would name so about you, but I it's so hard to
Ah, you know, I'm looking at. See a beautiful neighborhood of floating homes over here, and the price of these homes range from about $900,000 in the back to $2.5 million up front. So it ain't cheap living here in Seattle, but it hasn't always been an expensive way to live. In the early 1900s, Lake Union was surrounded with a bunch of sawmills. Now, in the early 1900s, Lake Union was surrounded with a bunch of sawmills. There were tons of loggers living in the area, and the loggers were looking for cheap ways to live. And so they noticed that some of the logs would wind up down here on the lake and drift ashore, and they decided to bundle up the logs and throw tents and tarps on them and live on them. And those were the first floating homes in Seattle, for the loggers that lived on them. At the end of this row of floating homes, you can see a little bluish-gray structure with an awning. It's just to the left of that brown one. The brown one has an American flag out front. And it looks like a tool shed. That's because it was a tool shed. They took out the tools, put in furniture, and that's the smallest floating home in Seattle. It's 232 square feet, and it rents out for $800 a month. Now, when the loggers were living down here on the lake got pretty dirty, you can imagine, after having thousands of loggers living on it. That the city decided a way to clean up the lake would be to place a cap on the amount of floating homes allowed on the lake. And so they placed a cap at 500, so no more floating homes can be built unless one's torn down. There's no cap on houseboats, just floating homes. The difference is that a floating home is a permanent structure that's connected to the city's utilities. They pay property tax, whereas a houseboat is basically an RV on the water. They have a separate sewage tank, and they can dislodge from the shore or the dock and travel around. They don't pay any property taxes. So that's the difference between